Boy, we had a time last night. That's what the 20s should be given.
Be love.
Be light.
Be peace.
Be life.
Be wrong.
Alright.
Be strong.
Be bold.
Be black.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome back to Whitney's Corner. My name is Whitney, and you already know. But anyways, you guys, I've been seeing this topic trending on YouTube for a good minute, and I feel like I'm qualified. I'm qualified to talk about this because I am now 33 in this current video, and so I feel like I qualify to talk about my 20s. Like, hello. So anyway, some of the things that I feel like I've learned in my 20s is, one, setting boundaries. Like, I've definitely learned, like, where I'm at now at 33 and where I was at in my 20s. Like, I feel like in my 20s, I kind of let a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but mainly in relationship-wise, I would let the person kind of just walk all over me and kind of just, like, let them be. And I've learned, like, no, like, that's not what we given. We're definitely not given, like, at 33, I've learned to set boundaries with friends, family, anybody. My cat, she need boundaries too. But I learned that, like, setting boundaries is definitely a 20s. What else have I learned? I've also learned that what comes with, setting boundaries is also speaking up for myself. Like, if I don't like something, I have to speak up. Like, I have to speak up for myself. Who else is going to speak up for me? No one can read my mind. No one can vouch for me other than myself. And so, in my 20s, I feel like I did very little of that. I was more like, kind of, I won't say hush, but I kind of just was like, okay, like, if that's what you want to do, okay, I'm down. Like, and it's like, nah, bro, like, if I don't feel like something ain't right, I'm not, no. The other thing that I've learned is to be vulnerable. Now, baby, I just learned this yesterday. Okay, yesterday, I learned that yesterday. Because I feel like where I'm at now in my 30s is like, in my 20s, I was more like, like, I would play this hardcore, like I'm a very independent woman, and I was more like, no, like I was very, like, I would say gangster, like a female gangster, like, nah, I ain't sharing nobody feelings, like, what they do that at? Like, what? And I've learned over the course, and that's not even just in relationships. That is just in general. Like, I speak a lot about my mental health on this channel because, over the course of the years, I feel like my vulnerability, especially after having a mental breakdown, it's on the screen. I'll put the little card thing up on the screen where you guys can hear more about my mental breakdown. But having that mental breakdown helped me to be vulnerable and let my loved ones know, like, I am not mentally okay, and whatever they want to do with that information, that's up to them. But I've learned that, Whitney, like, you can't go around not saying nothing. The same thing, like, just not saying anything and being vulnerable to the ones that will not take your words for granted. That is something I've learned a lot. And that comes with pride. Like, it's just like me being raised as a independent woman, because my grandmother was an independent woman. It was more like, no, I got it. And 9 times out of 10, baby, as me being the strong friend, 9 times out of 10, I probably don't got it. But I'm going to tell you that, the old version of me, I'll tell you I got it. But now, child, I ain't got it. Child, this is how I feel. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm going through it. I cried. Like, I've learned to to speak my truth. Like, I've learned to speak how I feel. And even just this past couple of months, you know, a lot of people around me, like my loved ones, they would say like, yo, I'm so appreciative of you being so aware of how you feel. Because that was a struggle for me. Like, I've been in therapy for 3 years now. And, I've had to get through a space where, I feel like me talking a lot with my therapist and working through my emotions with my therapist has helped me to grow in a space to talk about how I feel. Like, and that has helped a lot. And I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of that. And that goes into like the next like space of like what I've learned from my 20s. Like, I was not going to nobody's therapy in my 20s. Like, what? Who's going? What? Do what? Like, baby, I am not. No. I felt like therapy for me was like the death of me. Like, like, I'm being dramatic, but I feel like it was just, I feel like therapy was, I feel like it didn't work. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I was younger, I had a lot of anger in me. And my grandmother did sign me up for like counseling sessions and stuff like that. And, I feel like I wasn't really getting nothing out of those sessions. Like, I feel like I was too young to understand at that time. Like, I get it now. But I feel like back then it was just like, I would just sit in the office and just like, this person asking me questions. And I'm like, all right, sir, what time? Like, you gotta talk about this for 30 minutes. That experience kind of traumatized me when it came to like therapy. Because I'm not going to therapy. Like, I'll just rely on Jesus and call it a day. Like, hello. But I realized, like, it's okay to have Jesus in therapy. Like, it's okay. It's okay for my Christian fellow people out there. Like, it's okay to have Jesus in therapy. Like, and so I got to a space where after having that mental breakdown, I was like, nah, girl, you definitely need professional help. Obviously, you're not picking up on the cues of your body. You're not understanding like when your body needs rest. You're not picking up on the cues when your body is feeling overwhelmed. You're not picking up on the cues when your body is feeling down. Like, and so I realized, like, Whitney, take this time. Like, it was mandatory. It wasn't even like, girl, I was in a whole psych ward for 6 days. So, girl, what you gonna do? And so it was a mandatory outpatient situation. So I realized like therapy definitely has helped me. I feel like I'm rambling on the therapy part, but I'm gonna probably do a separate video. I have done other videos. I'll probably do an updated version of, let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to do an updated version on therapy. But definitely therapy, highly recommend it. I feel like all my friends and family is in therapy right now, so definitely highly recommend it. The other thing that I've learned is I worked a lot. Like, when most people in their 20s, they went like, let me restate that. I definitely enjoyed my 20s. I for sure enjoyed my 20s. However, I spent a lot of my 20s working. Like, I spent my whole 20s working my behind off. Like, and it paid off, but honestly, I feel like I wish I could have lived a little, just a little bit more. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. But I feel like when I was in my 20s, I would hang out, but I wish I would have been more present when I went out. Because when going out, I would go out, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, I got to go home. I got to get this work done. I got this project, that project. And I feel like I didn't really live because my mind was always on work. Even though I was out hanging out with my friends, hanging out with family, I was always thinking about and they would tell you, like, Whitney would hang out, but she wasn't always present because she was, even if I had to hang out at a certain time, I'll be like, yo, I got to go home because I got to wake up early. So, now that I'm in my 30s, I definitely live a lot more. Like, and I feel like I live a lot more on the, I was going to say on the edge, but that's a whole lie because I'm still I'm still growing in that area, so I can't really say that I'm living on the edge. But what I can say is that I've been a little bit more spontaneous with my movements in life. Like I kind of get up and just live. It's not so much of like, Whitney, you gotta get up and work, you gotta get up and work, you gotta get up and work. I don't want to live like that no more because it's not healthy, and I don't want to get to the ending days of my life and and all I did was work. Like, no, bro, like it's so much more to life than work. Like, again, I'm grateful because it got me to where I'm at now, but I want to be mindful of where I'm at in this journey, in this space, to be basically to live. But that goes into one of the highlights of my 20s. I lived. Like, I really did, even though I wasn't present, but I really did enjoy, like, me and my best friends, we would go out, we would hang out, we would, and to this day, I'm like, yo, how we was doing that? How was we doing that? Because I would literally go out, have drinks, be lit, and then literally come home 5-6 o'clock in the morning and get up and do it all over again. Now, baby, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I can't do that no more. Like, I'm sorry, that we don't do that. I need like 6 months to a year to regroup from, hanging out for one day, and usually I come at home at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. Baby, I'm not going out for a good couple of weeks. So, I'm grateful because I was very youthful. I was out. I was enjoying myself. I drank. I didn't smoke, but I would drink. I would, go to lounges. I would go to parties. I would hang out with my friends. And just have a ball. Like, I would literally have, like, that's one thing I could say. I dated. Like, I enjoyed my 20s. So I can't really necessarily say, like, it wasn't, like, I don't regret nothing in my 20s. Like, I'm creating this video to kind of give you guys an insight of, like, what my 20s look like, but I enjoyed my 20s. Like, I don't regret anything that I've done in my 20s. I don't regret anything. I just think that, just certain things that I'm learning at 30, in my 30s, that, I could have improved in, but, like, not regret. What's some of the things I've learned in my 20s? Oh, I'm learning now in my 30s is to be patient. Understanding, that's one thing I probably regret just a little bit, is being more patient with God. Like, I feel like my walk with God, I didn't start my walk with God, honestly, until I was about 2015. So I would say I was about 25, 26. And so that was around the time that I kind of, spent more time with God and built my relationship with God. But I was very, very, very impatient with God. Like, what I've learned now is, like, if something not working out, is a reason. God don't want you with that situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's with anything, not even just relationship, but that's with anything. And I had to learn to say, all right, God, I trust you. I'm gonna leave it for what it is. And, and, like, really walk by faith and say, yo, you know what? God got me. God got me. And that's just the reality. Like, don't stress myself out. And even if I do get stressed out, I've learned to, that's when my time I need to really spend with God a little bit more and build my relationship with God. And so learning that, in my 20s, and I feel like for the most part, I think that's really it. 20s, I feel like you should mess it up. Not mess it up, but, like, enjoy it. Like, I feel like in your 20s, like, you're young, and I feel like today's society, because everybody's about the grind, everybody's about, hustle and bustle. But I feel like, in your 20s, I feel like that's the time to really explore and really enjoy yourself and really to, live your life, travel, like, date this person, date that person. Like, I feel like in your 20s, you should really look back and say, yo, I had a ball. Like, I had a ball in my 20s. Like, boy, we had a time last night. That's what the 20s should be given. Not given, like, stressed out, like, worrying about everything. Like, it's not worth it, because by the time you get to your 30s, baby, there's a lot more other stuff that you could be worried about. Like, I promise you, it's a lot more. Like, let's start with these knees, because, baby, you need to be twerking it, dipping it, dropping it down low. Whatever you need to do in your 20s, do all that physical activity. You need to do all that physical activity in your 20s, because, baby, these knees ain't giving nothing in your 30s. Okay? So, do what you need to do. I mean, you probably can drop it down low one good time, but that about it. So yeah, just enjoy, have fun, live it up, date, build your relationship with God, make friends. Like, that's even more important. Like, make friends, and travel. Do what you want to do. Be present. I know, so we be on social media all day, every day, but bro, it's a whole life going on outside of social media. I promise you that. I feel like that's one thing in my 30s that I'm kind of like over, because I do feel like in my 30s I spend a whole lot more time on social media than I do like in my 20s. Like, I do, like in my 20s, because it was like social media was still growing. It was kind of like you could post and dip. I feel like Instagram be having you on there for mad hours. Like, that's my little rant. But anyways, you guys, let me know if you in your 20s. Let me know your goals. Let me know what y'all feeling. And if you in your 30s, let me know in the comments what's the vibe? What's the vibe for y'all? What's some of the things that y'all have learned over the course of your 20s, and what you want to do in your 30s? And that's about it, baby. I'll see you guys in the next video.